RPG a Day 2018, day 9. Question is, how has a game surprised you? And there's a lot of possible answers for this. I'm constantly surprised by things that my players do in games that I'm playing. I'm constantly surprised by things that crop up. So the game that gave me the biggest shock, though, was fairly recently in a Leagues of Gothic horror game that I'm playing via email. So a little bit of background on the character that I'm playing in that, Percival Fanshawe. He lives in Sydenham in southeast London, not very far from where I live, and pretty much, I think, possibly in the same house or in within a couple of houses from where a friend of mine lives. He's in his 40s, and 15 years before, his wife was tragically killed in an accident, and that greatly affected him. He spent a long time bordering on breakdown over it. So that's the character that I'm playing. He's got a very strong personality, very forceful, very charismatic. So in the game, we ended up having to go to a mental asylum up near Edmonton for tests. Long, bizarre reason why, but that was where we were, and that was really unsettling in and of itself. We did various things as a group, and then in the evening we retired to our rooms, and suddenly, and actually without me realising, the play became one-on-one, just me and the games master. She'd just taken the other players out of the loop, and I didn't spot it for quite a while. I go to sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night, and what's awakened me is the sound of the bolts on the outside of the door. I wasn't in a padded room, I was in guest quarters, but I was locked in, and what woke me was the sound of the bolts moving. And then through the doorway comes my wife, looking the way she did before she died, and basically trying to seduce me. And it was funny because I was just about to start running a game when I checked my email. I was hanging out with my brother, and suddenly I looked at it and I was just like, oh my life. And I think it made me realise how emotionally attached you can get to the characters you're playing. It wasn't unhealthy. It was an amazing experience, but it really did genuinely freak me out, and I felt some of the fear and confusion and worry that my character did, which was great. I'm playing a horror game because I want to occasionally be scared. I want to feel something visceral from it, and far more than shock horror or blood and guts or anything like that. This really did it, and I managed to get out of the situation, and the situation just got more and more complicated, and yeah, it turned out it was a demon that had taken on the visage of my wife. But man, the motivation that I had to continue that was huge, and it really coloured all of my character responses for quite a long time. So yeah, I think that was the most surprised I've ever been, was just suddenly like, oh my life, what's going on? What do I do? How do I act in character? And it was really good. So yeah, fairly short one today, but that was the most surprised I've ever been whilst playing a game. Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow.